everybody, and welcome back to BK's Bullets. Today we're going to talk about episode 1 of Moon Knight. Hey everybody, and welcome back to BK's Bullets. As always, I'm your host, Brent, and today we're going to talk about episode 1 of Moon Knight. So, we're doing these reviews a little bit later now that seems like at least in, Florida, pandemic numbers are low. Work is requiring me to come back, basically. So the Wednesday lunchtime viewings of Marvel shows is over. So expect these reviews to come out maybe Wednesday night or Thursday if you really want my take on stuff. Otherwise, just watch it, enjoy it, and watch these at your leisure, right? So anyway, Moon Knight is a character we've been talking about on the channel. I've done reviews of the 2 volumes of the 2 complete collections that have come out so far, Jeff Lemire's run and Bendis' run. I've got 2 more collections coming. I've got this weird British version of The Bottom with David Finch, the one that kind of interested everybody in Moon Knight 20 years ago or so. And then I have the other one with, it's called Legacy. I can't remember who the creators are, but I've read a couple issues of that as well when it was coming out, and I think that's going to be a lot of fun too. So, Moon Knight, right? We're going to talk a lot about him in the next month, 6 weeks or whatever. I think there's 6 episodes in this show. This is one show that I was more interested in, but also curious because it's got some great talent behind it. More like mainstream-ish, established talent, one would say. You know, you got Ethan Hawke, who's very good all the time. You've got Oscar Isaac, whom I'm not really sold on in terms of being a good actor, so to speak. Like, I've seen him in things, I've enjoyed him in things, but I'm not quite really like a big Oscar Isaac fan, you know? Like, he hasn't sold me the way that, you know, I've seen Ethan Hawke do plenty of things, and I'm like, he's a good actor. I'm fine with Ethan Hawke being in this. I think that, you know, he's been in Star Wars. Oscar Isaac, he was in that atrocious X-Men Apocalypse movie as Apocalypse. I think the thing I liked him the most in was, wasn't Eastern Promises. It was it was The Promise. That's what the movie was called. It's the Armenian genocide film, and that was kind of a downer in general. But I really did like that film, and I liked him in it. I think I watched that like 2 years ago or something. I don't remember. 2 or 3 years ago. But anyway, Moon Knight is starring Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke, and we get a whole lot of Oscar Isaac here in this episode and not a whole lot of Moon Knight. In fact, he only appears at the very end, which I thought was kind of a bummer. Although I did really enjoy the way that they're playing up the dual personalities. In the Jeff Lemire run and some of the other runs, there's 3 personalities. You got Stephen Grant, Mark Spector, and Jake Lockley. So I'm not sure if we're going to get all 3 personalities here. You know, you throw in Moon Knight. Is he a 4th personality? You throw in the Mr. Knight guy in the suit. Is that a 5th personality? We will see how all that plays out here in the Disney Plus show. But so far, I'm liking the way that they're playing with this, as if one personality has knowledge of the other's life, whereas Stephen Grant, our main character here, whom we're introduced to first and spend the most time with, is not really aware that he has a problem. He just thinks he's waking up really tired all the time. You know, he tries to stay awake for some reason I didn't quite understand. Like, you know, when he realized when he falls asleep, he does stuff that he doesn't want to do. But it feels like he's never actually woken up in the middle of whatever Mark Spector was doing. Unlike it seemed like when he woke up in this episode, it was the first time he woke up in a different place. Whereas maybe Mark Spector's never really asserted himself in that way, that kind of thing. And he always woke up in his bed just really, really tired or something like that. So I can't quite make out why he was trying to stay awake at night other than not to turn, I guess. But if he wasn't aware, how's that all working? So I'm not quite clear on all that. But I did like how they played with it, how he just woke up and all of a sudden he's, you know, holding a gun in a different location and stuff like that. I really did like how it was almost like he was blacking out when he was in, I want to call it Austria, Switzerland, that whole daylight scene, basically, not in London, in another European country. I really liked how you saw him like kind of twitch and then him turn into someone else and then wake up, you kind of skipped ahead in time and found Stephen Grant on the other side of whatever happened. He woke up with a bloody fist in the Scarab. He woke up in a car with a gun in his hand, and then finally have that conversation at the end where you have the mirror personality, who I assume is Mark Spector, and they call Mark, say, let me in, let me take over, like that kind of thing. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a whole lot of fun. So that part has me hooked. The whole mystery of Amut, I believe is the deity's name that they're worshiping, the bad guys, the bad guy played by Ethan Hawke, all that kind of stuff is a little bit intriguing. I couldn't quite make out what he was fighting. I thought it was one of the Anubis head-like creatures that you've seen in other Egyptian mythology, but I'm pretty sure it was like a big, tall, mummy-looking thing with the head of a skinless cat. Does that ring a bell to anybody? Or some sort of cat deity or monster? It wasn't quite clear because we never really got a good shot of that thing, whatever it was. It was always moving, it was really fast, or we were only seeing like the bottom pieces of it. So I'm kind of interested to see what that is. Khonshu, which is the deity that he's having the visions of with the moon staff and the big bird beak skeleton, that kind of thing. Very scary, very frightening. I do like, I saw in the credits, the voice of Khonshu's F. Murray Abraham. And if you don't know him, I suggest you go watch, he was Sal, I think his name Sal? In not Covert Affairs. Gosh, what's it called? Claire Danes was in it. It's on Showtime. Oh, gosh, what was it called? Anyway, F. Murray Abraham's a great actor. And I was kind of thinking, like, this is kind of a funny voice, but now knowing that it's F. Murray Abraham, I'm fine with it. It's cool. I like him as an actor. I think it was more of a humorous take of, the idiot's in charge, that kind of thing. I really enjoyed that instead of like this kind of ominous deity or whatever. Like, this thing has a personality, and we're hearing him in Mark's voice. I thought that was very interesting. Wasn't quite clear if Ethan Hawke, if his character knew that Mark was also an avatar. It seems like, because he was talking about the voice in your head, that kind of thing. It's always painful. So I think that Hawke's character is an avatar for this Amut god, right? With the alligator, crocodile head. And I don't know if he knew that Mark was an avatar as well. It seemed like he did. But when that tattoo thing stopped moving, or never stopped moving, and he said there's chaos in you, it's almost as if he was surprised, like he didn't know that Mark was an avatar, but I don't know. So there's mysteries abound in this show, and I think that's the hook going forward, not necessarily that you're attached to Moon Knight or the action or anything. I think the mysteries hopefully are what's going to keep us going, but I hope they don't dole it out so slowly the way that Loki did. I hope they kind of take the second or third episode to explain everything. Let's get the plot moving and jump ahead in the next couple of episodes and have a real, plot-driven thing and see Mark kind of use these characters, these other personalities to his advantage, or Steven use them to his advantage, that kind of thing. So I hope they're not drawing it all the way out through 6 episodes to finally figure out what's going on. Like, I'd like to establish what's going on next episode, and let's find out what's up with the Scarab, what's up with the cult, what's up with the gods, all that kind of stuff, and kind of burst forward through there. I'm not quite sure that's going to happen. Seems like these Marvel TV shows are always paced ever so slowly, and that bothers me. I'm like, I know you want to just you don't want to make a Disney Plus 2-hour original film, but that's kind of what these feel like half the time, because they only have one storyline all the way through, instead of like a regular TV show, which might have an episode dedicated to one storyline, and then another one, and then another one, and a couple different threads flowing through it. So I think that's what these Marvel formula shows is suffering from half the time when I'm watching them. Not this one yet, but other Marvel shows, if you've watched my other reviews, I didn't really quite enjoy them because they seemed to take forever to get to the plot. I don't want a 6-hour Justice League Zack Snyder cut every time I watch a Marvel Disney Plus show. Give me a show like, let's move on from this format thing. Let's tell some more stories. So I think that's my take on Moon Knight. I'm not quite sure about the costume yet. I've always kind of thought his costume's cool, but this version of it with all the bandages, and it's clearly like they're trying to make it more tactile, more Egyptian, I think, with the bandages to make it more of like a mummy kind of thing. I think what's throwing me off is that it is so clear that his cape is digital, at least in this one shot that we've seen, and the eyes, the glowing white eyes, they bother the crap out of me. I don't know why. I think because it just makes it, it's a digital effect, right? But maybe it's the way that the mask is. Like, it's so clearly a helmet that is put on. It doesn't have the allure of bandages and stuff like that. So I'm almost like expecting, if Moon Knight ever does talk, that he's going to be a digital head replacement on top of anything that they did. And kind of the way that Spider-Man is in all of his movies in the Marvel Universe, which also bugs the crap out of me, that every time you see Spider-Man, it's always like a digital rendition of the costume instead of, the actor actually wearing the costume. So Moon Knight seems to be like a split of that, because I don't think they have the budget for all those replacements, but there's definitely something going on with that costume that's bothering me, that seems fake, that doesn't seem tactile or seems bloated, just not really connecting with me on a visual level. So we will find out as we go along. So hopefully we get a lot more Moon Knight, but I'm kind of thinking maybe we won't. Like, I'm kind of wondering if we're just going to get these glimpses of the guy in costume each episode, and it's going to be more about the Mark and Stephen Grant show with the personalities as opposed to the guy in the costume, which is the name of the show. So I don't know. We'll find out. I'm definitely interested. I'm not thinking that it's great or awesome the way that I think I did after WandaVision episodes 1 and 2 or Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But I mean, you had connections to those characters before from the other movies and stuff, and this is a brand new character. So I will be interested to see how this plays out going forward. So let me know what you think of Moon Knight down below in the comments, and we'll see you guys next time in the Funny Pages.